Detroit-New Orleans game right now, and of course, Detroit leads that game at the Silverdome by a score of 23-16, and New Orleans has the ball at midfield right now. But Greg Landry in the first half gets things started early through the air as he hits Ray Jarvis on a 15-yard gain here. Goes back to the air once again, this time going to number 86, J.D. Hill, a great sprinter on the outside. Detroit draws first blood and leads 7-0. Detroit second and 18 this time on Detroit on the 38-yard line. Landry feeling great pressure, is hit from behind by Bobby Pollard. New Orleans recovers the ball, setting up a scoring opportunity by Chuck Muncie. Muncie this time going out on a run option pass, decides to pull the ball down and goes the whole route, 32 yards. He legs it in for a score and ties it 7-7. Punt coming up this time, Detroit from their own end zone. Summers tries to get the ball away, but Tommy Myers of New Orleans blocks it. The ball's recovered in the end zone by New Orleans, and the Saints take a lead temporarily, 14-7. Detroit is not dismayed by that play. Landry comes right back, this time hitting Charlie Sanders for a touchdown. And on that play, Charlie Sanders became the all-time Detroit Lions receiver. 14-17 at that point, Detroit ahead. And then this time, Horace Keene goes over, takes a temporary lead for the Lions. The Lions still lead it in the fourth quarter by a score of 23-16.
Irv, while you were doing that highlight package, I see that Billy Kilmer has the Redskins on the move in the fourth quarter in that game. But let me show you a couple of plays now from St. Louis and Chicago. Cardinals in white. Here is Hart. Wants Harris on the sideline. Now, watch this next catch. It is the play of the day, without a doubt. J.V. Kane, how in the world does he pull this one in? Hart, up high, goes Kane. One hand he's got the ball. Pulls it down. Touchdown for St. Louis. It is 13-3. Irv, that was some catch. How about the Dallas Giants?
Great catch. Of course, the one thing the New York Giants could not do is turn the ball over, and they did it. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys lead at halftime by a commanding 31-7 score. Jerry Goldstein early in the game goes to the air and doesn't see D.D. Lewis, a linebacker here, as Lewis picks the ball off here, bringing the ball back inside the 10-yard line, setting up a Dallas Cowboys scoring opportunity. 3rd and 2 on the Giant 2-yard line. Roger Staubach runs a quarterback draw. He bowls in for a touchdown. Dallas leads 7-0. Dallas again this time, 3rd and 4 on the Giant 10. Staubach goes to Preston Pearson. Score, Dallas 14, Giants nothing. Dallas 2nd and 7 this time on the Giant 43-yard line. Roger Staubach goes to Tony Dorsett. And look at this young man run. He's finally knocked down here, but a couple of things happen. Kelly and Carson were both knocked out of the game, and there's a young linebacker, Carson, going out of the ball game. Dallas 3rd and 12 on the Giant 32. Staubach goes to Drew Pearson, takes the ball down to the 1-foot line. Doug Dennison does the rest, goes over, 21-0 Dallas. Giants this time, TD run by Tony Dorsett, his first touchdown as a pro, and Dallas leads 28. Happy about that. 2nd and 21 on the Dallas 1-yard line. Willie Spencer goes in for a score, but Dallas has a commanding lead, 31-7 at halftime, Brett.
Irvo, you were looking at Dallas and the Giants. Atlanta held Washington. Still in the fourth quarter, 10-6. Redskins clinging to that lead. Again in baseball, Yankees routing Toronto in game 1. Boston ahead of Detroit 9-2 in the 6th. Cleveland ahead of Baltimore 5-4. That game is in the 6th. The NFL today will continue on CBS in just a moment.
Want to cut your fuel bills? Whether your house
is hotter than it was. Maybe it's just beginning to get through to the bones. We understand some of the Giants couldn't go in the dressing room because it was so air-conditioned that they were afraid of going in and coming back out again.
Giants huddling around Coach John McVay. They're down 31-7.
Cowboys ran 44 offensive plays in the first half. They only ran 68 the whole game against the Vikings, so you can see they've had their hands on that hog bladder a lot.
And you can consider the 68 included a part of an overtime period. This is Pat Summerall with Tom Brookshire, and it is hot, hot, hot. Temperature when the game began was 93 degrees up here.
You know, we talked about the young quarterbacks having trouble, but last week Fran Tarkington had 3 interceptions, intentionally grounded twice, was sacked 4 times. So the great quarterback, or perhaps the biggest one we know about, had problems with this Dallas defense too.
Here is Joe Danello's kickoff. Butch Johnson and Larry Brinson deep. Danello catches it nicely. It's going to be Brinson. And Butch runs over and says, Larry, don't you dare come out of there. The Cowboys will take over at their own 20-yard line. Roger Staubach, I believe, will still be the quarterback. Yes, here he comes.
A Again, the problem is you don't want to tone down your team and lose the edge, so the Cowboys will still keep the heat on and play it like this is a new game. And it's
not hard to keep the heat on today. Staubach comes into the huddle. The Cowboys had 246 total yards in the first half. The Giants had 86. First and 10 at their own 20. Staubach, Newhouse, Preston Pearson, the other running back. Drew Pearson comes in motion, and Preston gets the call. Tries to cut back inside and comes back to the outside. Picked up a few. Knocked out of bounds by Bill Bryan. And like John Mendenhall got up rather slowly.
I think Burton Lawless is in at the left guard, so Scott is in too, so Rafferty's the one that's getting a breather right now.
Burton Lawless is the right guard and the right tackle in the place of Pat Donovan is rookie Andy Frederick, who's about 6'6" and 260. They just got such a wealth of talent. Ralph Neely still playing. Staubach outside. Pearson. That's Preston. Jim Steinke right up there with him to make the tackle. Cowboys just totally dominated the first half. They lead 31-7. Touchdowns by Dennison, by Staubach. That was the first one. By Dorsett. And giant touchdown by Willie Spencer on a short burst.
Remember, Roger was always hovering last year before the broken finger around 60-something%, and he was at that coming in, and he's 15 for 20 for 177 yards, and this is just opening the second half.
And this is third down right now, and 3 for Dallas. Looks back at Pearson and then rolls out and throws back across the field. Pearson dropped it. Ray Rhodes was close, but Pearson had the first down yardage and more if he had been able to hang on. And now we'll see Danny White for the second time.
Just too easy a catch for Preston Pearson.
He's got to be diving in somebody's end zone.
Got to be holding on to him.
Danny White, of course, is the backup quarterback.
Pat, you see the little shoes he's kicking with? Of course, they're for the artificial surface, but they look like something you'd wear on a boat.
You mean like tech shoes?
Yeah, they're just little funny-looking little white shoes.
Danny White shoes.
Like the shoes you kicked with the Giants. Same one.
White in the direction of Bobby Hammond. At the 32, he starts wide to the right. Henderson missed him. Hammond gets a good return going. And still has a good return going. In fact, he's gone. Bobby Hammond. 68-yard punt return. Bobby Hammond. He just keeps doing things right.
And, you know, he's such a surprise because he's 5'10", 170, and actually Bell was supposed to be the player to do most of this. But if we recall, 3 good kickoff returns early in the game against the Cowboys, and I'll tell you, he broke back against it and just flat got it on. I'm looking to see when the last time the punt was run back for a touchdown by the Giants.
It's been a long time. Joe Danilo will try for the extra point. Larry Mallory will hold. That makes it 31-13, and this could make it 31-14. Punt return of 68 yards by Bobby Hammond, who was cut by the Giants 2 years ago, went to New Orleans, was released by the Saints, came back to training camp this year and wouldn't let him go this time. Bobby Hammond makes it closer, 31-14.
Porque eu uso a cabeça no campo de futebol, mas também eu uso a cabeça quando viajo. Eu sempre levo comigo o cartão da American Express. Já usei em mais de 40 países.
Joe Danilo will kick off for the Giants. Own 35. There's some discussion going on right now. It's like the Giants might have lost that kicking tee, and they're borrowing one from Dallas.
Ronde Colbert ran a punt back against New Orleans in 75. So it's been 2 seasons since we've seen one broken by the Giants.
Joe Danilo gets it teed up. Some of our monitors have been felled by the heat, so if we start talking about something that you're not seeing, I hope you just bear with us. Danilo to kick off. Brinson and Johnson back. Brinson Johnson again says, let's start at the 20. It'll be first down, Dallas. At that point, Roger Staubach comes back on the field. Don't forget about the CBS Sports Spectacular, the world's strongest men competition, the Cup, Super Bowl of motocross, all that coming up next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern Time. Participants in that strongest men, by the way, are John Cole, Mike Dayton, Bob Young of the St. Louis Cardinals, George Sprinn, Ken Patera, who's the brother of the coach of the Seattle Seahawks. They're going to be lifting a big heavy barrel next week. Newhouse takes the forward handoff, breaks into the clear. Flag is down as Robert Newhouse gets out close to the 40, out of bounds at the 38. Ernie Stotner very upset, as is Gil Brandt over in front of the Dallas bench after that long run by Newhouse, and it looks like Gordon McCarter and group are going to call it back.
Taya Mallory really put Newhouse out of bounds, though, in rough style. He collared him, knocked him out. Watch the block to the top right of your screen. There's the block that sprung him. Now watch Mallory come over and really do a job on Newhouse. Super place for the defensive guy to get even.
Call against Golden Richards. The violation that nullified that run.
I thought it was the preamble to the Constitution. I never heard so much description. Does make it a first down, doesn't it?
Ball is on the 20. We are just into the opening minutes of the third quarter. Dallas 31, the Giants 14. First and 10. Back on a reverse to Billy Joe Dupree. Got a good block out in front. Billy Joe rumbles up for about 7. Taken out of bounds by Rick Dvorak.
As we've tried to say to you, a team that's heading for a Super Bowl, led by a quarterback like number 12, is not going to be able to turn it off. They are using plays. The tight end around is what you just saw. So they're playing this half just like they started out dead even. That's probably what Landry's philosophy was. Fellas, it's 0-0. Go out and play another good half.
Second situation now, second down. Billy Joe Dupree got 7 yards on that end around, so it's 2nd and 3. Comes Pearson in motion. Newhouse slips around to the outside. He got a couple of good blocks, breaks a couple of tackles. Gets a Dallas first down before he's knocked out of bounds by Dan Lloyd, I believe.
Giants are not giving anything away right now. They're putting bodies in front of blockers and runners. But they still nickel and dime you, the Cowboys do, and get the first. Watch this play now. Watch Newhouse as the Giants really string this out and play it tough. And watch Marion finally come over and make the tackle on this guy. Newhouse, another person that everybody except the Cowboys have been trying to cut for about 4 or 5 years, and he's pretty sturdy type.
He got a first down and then asked for a rest. Heads over to the bench, and Scott Laidlaw is the fullback now behind Staubach. First down, Dallas, ball at their own 32. Pitch back to Pearson. Archer had a piece of him, but Pearson squirms away. Gets another Dallas first down before Brian Kelly gets him out of bounds.
Archer gets up slow. Now, again, the second-year man from Colorado has a good shot, and watch him. He decides not to overrun the veteran back. Watch 77. The only thing he doesn't do is make the tackle, and he's mad about it. But I'll tell you, Pearson is slippery. He's like tackling an eel, isn't he?
Archer comes out now after that long chase, limping just a little bit. Now just bending over and trying to get his breath back, I think. Drew Pearson split wide to the right. A first down, Dallas. Ball at their own 44, and Rogers going to throw. And does. And wide open is Drew Pearson. He shakes to the outside a couple of times, down to the Giant 30. Stopped finally by Frank Marion. Drew Pearson.
Give Roger Staubach a big plus on this one. Watch his fake. Now, Pearson's shaking. Watch the fake here. The linebackers stay a little too close. And now Pearson's speed has him down in that 20-yard area. Look how much room between the linebackers there and Pearson there. He's dangerous once he catches it. Marion makes a good tackle here. Good hustle still. Give up yardage.
I can't figure out what happened to Drew Pearson. He is still bending over right where he caught it. And the Dallas trainers have come out to take a look at Drew. I think he's gotten cramps.
Could be what some of the players are going to have. If you're not taking a lot of salt in the first half, you could have a real problem with the legs in the second. Like Burton Lawless hit a giant right in the back, and they threw the flag right on top of them both.
Again, a couple of the Giants on the far side of the field, very slow getting up. Marion and Brian Kelly.
That Marion's been really hustling, too, number 51 back there. He's hurt.
Marion is 6'3" and 230. Had 1 year of experience in the NFL. He's from Florida A&M. There's the hit that he put on Doug Dennison.
Jack Gregory was the one that Lawless cut down from behind. There's Jack still standing.
See if we can hear what Gordon McCarter says. Burton Lawless, the guilty party.
Watch right to the right center of your screen. There it is. Delta State went all the way over, didn't it?
Yep. I'm talking to you about his soybean crop this morning.
He got the crop in. He's got a pretty good-sized farm down there, he and his daddy, huh?
Yeah. So, Brian Kelly walking away now and back to the huddle. It is hot.
On MASH, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Frank Marion down on the Giant bench. He's really been hustling.
Well, Carson's already gone. The first half, we saw Harry Carson go, so Lloyd is in there, number 54 at middle.
First down for the Cowboys. Ball at the Giant 45. Staubach to the outside to Dennison. Actually, look at that defense now. They've got Lloyd. They've got Brian Kelly. And they got an extra defensive back.
I think Danny White's the quarterback now, too, so we're going to get to see the young
is.
man from the WSL out of Arizona State.
Who's a fine athlete. Look at this. Seattle got rolling, didn't they?
Yeah.
42-20.
Bengals have a lot of people, don't they?
Cincinnati picked by a lot of people to win all the marbles. Struggled last week against Cleveland, however. Danny White with the forward handoff to Laidlaw. Scott Laidlaw rumbles down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Stopped by Dan Lloyd.
Now, there are going to be some people say, boy, they're really trying to lay it on. But watch this little move, a little shuttle inside by Danny White. Remember, White hasn't done anything except punt twice. So he's going to try to work on whatever he thinks people want to see him do in the Dallas uniform. So it's very hard to turn off a team that has got these kind of people waiting to play.
Brian Kelly comes out, and now Brad Van Pelt has gone back in with his right arm heavily bandaged. Third down, Cowboys. Danny White, ball batted down.
By Lloyd.
By Dan Lloyd, the linebacker.
Pat, he started to get down into a lineman stance and come, and then it was so hot he just said the heck with it. He just came from the up stance. Came right in and blocked it. Good play by Lloyd. Boy, this is when you find out where your soul is, when you're having to play today.
20-12, that's the final score. Baltimore over the Jets. Brian Kelly is back in the game now as Efren Herrera will try a 41-yard field goal with number 41 holding. That's plenty of distance. It is good. Cowboys 34, Giants 14. Herrera from 41 yards away. makes it Dallas 34. Giants 14. 11:23 left, third period.
Where does your money go after?
Trying to crush the ball.
Yeah. Checking out the pressure. Gordon Bell and Emery Moorhead. Back deep for the Giants. Bobby Hammond getting a rest.
After 68-yard punt return, let's see if Bell can maybe turn the Giants on a little bit.
I see Hammond sitting down on the bench with a towel draped across his head. Try to shut out some of the heat. Line drive kick. I believe that's Willie Spencer. No, that's Beasley Reed. The Giants got him from Dallas. He wears glasses underneath that helmet.
I'll tell you one thing, he uses the helmet well. He took a head-on shot and made a pretty good return out, and the Giants don't have bad field position. 16-3. There's a shocker, but not really. Cardinals had too much offense to go around getting shut out like they did against Denver.
Speaks well for Denver, doesn't it?
Well, it sure does.
First down, the Giants. Ball at their own 34. 11 minutes, 14 seconds left in the third period. Dallas still has most of the regulars on defense playing. Doug Coter and Larry Zonka, running back. Well, there's a guy who looks like a different guy from what he did 4 or 5 years ago.
Tell you one thing, he's just beefed himself up. He's still a good-looking athlete. We're talking about Waters now. Watch him come through. He read his keys. He knows it's the run. Coter never goes down easily. But 41 made a tackle last week against Foreman we thought was unusual, too, because it was such a clamp, such a firm one.
About a 4-yard loss for Coter on first down, so we'll make it 2nd and 14. Pasarchik, the quarterback. Like somebody moved in the middle of that giant line. Thrown behind Coter.
Gregory might have made the premature move a little bit on the nose. Pasarchik must have had a little bit of a staggered count. I thought he gave a little bit of a bob, but got away with it.
Check out who's playing defense for Dallas now. Randy White. There's Jerry Goldstein sitting on the sideline on the Giant bench. Dallas defense is Ed Jones, Jethro Pugh, Randy White, and Harvey Martin. That's the front four.
It was Jethro. I'm sorry. I gave that to Gregory, and that's not fair because Gregory just came back on the active list, didn't he?
He missed last week. Benny Barnes, one of the cornerbacks. Mel Renfro had been one, but now he goes out along with Randy Hughes. Aaron Kyle on one corner, Benny Barnes the other. The safety men for Harris and Waters.
They got the net out there now. They got the fast linebackers and 5 secondary men.
That is a final score. Washington beat Atlanta 10-6. Pasarchik to throw. Across the middle to Zonka. First down for Larry Zonka. Bob Brunig made the tackle, and Tom, you know, you pointed that out to me before. We had not mentioned, I think, maybe only once in the entire first half, Bob Brunig.
And that means that defensive line is doing such a job that he just has been maintaining, right? Good play by Tucker, who is at 222 this year, but looks smaller. I think Bob Tucker might have a great year, but that's the first time they found him this afternoon.
I believe I said it was Zonka, didn't I? Whatever, it's first down. And the ball goes to Coter off the right side with not much doing. Houston, Green Bay in the fourth period tied 10-10. Coter comes back. Joe Pasarchik, quite a story. Some experience in Canada, but not in the NFL. In fact, the Giants began the season with no quarterback who had thrown a pass in NFL competition in the regular season.
That's bold.
2nd and 9 situation as Coter comes in motion to the left. Pasarchik throws inside Robinson. Spun down by Cliff Harris. But close to a Giant first down again.
Robinson had a touchdown pass against the Cowboys a year ago, and he makes a heck of a move, and only a great tackler might be able to say that. Watch the tackle by Harris. I think we've told you before, of all the safety men I know around, the free safeties, I think number 43 is the best one.
It's a pretty good endorsement. 16-6 now. The Cardinals over the Bears. That's in the fourth quarter. Bobby Hammond and Larry Zonka now the running backs on first down for New York. Ball at the 42 and Hammond. Zonka left side. Good fake by Pisarcik. Aaron Kyle had to come from the cornerback position to make the tackle.
Watch Van Horn's block on Randy White to the left. They cross block. Hill takes Randy White out. And Zonka hit the hole like the old Zonka. Wide open and full out. And that's one tackle that Cliff Harris won't want to make all afternoon.
You stop and start thinking about if the Giants do get 7 here, that would make it 34-21. You might be creating another game here. Bobby Hammond and Willie Spencer. He broke a couple. Got down to the 25.
He is big. He broke the tackle that Randy White laid on him, but there's the final score. The Lions 23, New Orleans 19. Graham won the exhibition season, but as we found out, preseason games really aren't the same.
The Lions even their record at 1-1. New Orleans now 0-2. A couple of high-scoring affairs. They lost to Green Bay last week. Second down now. And 7. Ball to Dallas 25. Spencer goes in motion. Sarchik throws back to Hammond. Bobby Hammond gets inside the 20. Thomas Henderson, one of the tacklers.
Good play selection. Looks like a different offense than the Giants were running earlier. Maybe Joe's just now getting his feet down. Man in motion. Now he's the lead blocker. The toss back. And I'll tell you, the Hammond gets in there. He's a tough, short little running back. Good offensive series by the Giants. And the Dallas people are in there. The first team is still on the line of scrimmage.
You saw perhaps Pisarcik indicating to the bench that they only need about a foot for a first down. And so Zonka comes back in. It's third down. Spencer comes out.
Trying to keep fresh running backs, if at all possible, in there.
Sarchik now has asked for a measurement, and they had to bring the chains all the way from the other side of the field.
Pretty smart, even if he's a yard off either way, just to get a breather and talk to the bench.
His initial measurement was just about right. 7 minutes, 19 seconds left in the third period. The score is Dallas 34, the Giants 14. The Giants are on the march. Brookshire and Pat Summerall at Texas Stadium in Dallas.
You know, Pisarcik's a pretty good-sized guy, too. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. Big and bony. And running a pretty good offensive series right now.
He looks very, very confident at the moment. Look at this score. San Diego 16, Kansas City 7. That's the third period score.
The San Diegos have a lot of offensive people, I'll tell you that.
They got shut out by Oakland last week. Now, Pisarcik has called a timeout. There's something wrong with the lineup he set. And he wants to come over and talk it over. Pisarcik has completed 5 out of 8 for 98 yards, including that 54-yarder to draft choice Johnny Perkins that set up the Giants' first touchdown. Right now, it's 34-14 Dallas over the Giants.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark Plus by AC. We'll help you smile throughout the miles. You can trust AC. Thanks, AC. Spark Plus by AC. When you want to go, we're the name to know. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark Plus by AC. Firing Spark Plus by
Thanks, AC.
Maybe you're using Desinex, but to kill the fungus that causes the burning, cracking, and itching of athlete's foot, Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer. Aftate kills all major types of athlete's foot fungus and helps prevent reinfection. In fact, the medication in Aftate has been proven more effective in killing athlete's foot fungus than the medication in Desinex. Aftate is better, much better. It's the killer.
Yale, 1890, but they're legal. They're still on the bench, so to speak, but Dallas players have moved down into the shade as that sun goes by.
Third and about a foot for the Giants. Ball at the Dallas 19, 34-14 score. Zonka back close. That's Bobby Hammond. Got the first down for the Giants. Harvey Martin, Thomas Henderson, Randy White. What a first down Giants. They've hung in there.
I wonder what a giant touchdown would do to the Dallas psyche right now. I wonder if that would be hard to sort of swallow when you figured you had them knocked out. Then they get the punt return. And now the Giants are on a legitimate door-knocking job.
First and 10. Ball at the 17 now. Hammond comes in motion. Sarchik looks and throws. Intended for Hammond. Wood is well covered. Mike Heckman. And Aaron Kyle. Out close to him.
The freshest people in the stadium seem to be the pom-pom girls here.
But you notice they also are in the shade.
Looks different than where Tom Landry's walking. I tell you
Look,
that.
he's still got on the coat.
Probably got thermal on under there.
The Yankees 15, Toronto nothing. That's the final score. And that red-hot American League.
That's baseball, huh?
Right. Doesn't look like it. Sarchik fakes to Duncan. Now throws. Bob Tucker's open. Fumbles out of bounds. Tackled by Cliff Harris. But Bob Tucker got close to a first down.
Got to note that Drew Pearson did have the leg cramp. That's brought on by the tremendous heat. And the Giants linebacker Frank Marion's flat heat exhaustion. He's okay on the bench, but he's just out of gas. Good play by Tucker, huh?
Just sort of sifted out into the open as the Sarchik found him.
He's averaged about 16 yards every time he's touched the ball in this league. Remember, the Eagles had him one time and never threw him a football. The Giants have made a habit of that.
He went from the Eagles to New England, and they didn't throw him the football. First and goal at the 6 for the Giants. They get inside the 5.
That's Zonka.
Zonka straight ahead.
Everybody talks about his speed being slower, but speed was never a prime asset. It's not how fast it went, it's how strong the darn thing was that came on those wheels.
Just under 5 minutes left to play in the third period. Today's attendance, by the way, 64,215, a sellout. Watching the Giants trying to come back. Doug Coder. Got in. Thomas Henderson had him wrapped up, but Doug Coder scores for the Giants, and John McVay.
Watch the block by Zonka on the outside. There's the one on Barnes that really allowed number 44 to get in there. And we've talked about this running back, Kodar, from out of Kentucky. He can find it. He's tough. He's a better inside runner than people think. And Zonka's still a heck of a blocker, too, isn't he?
Doug Coder scores to make it 34-20 now. Joe Danello with Larry Mallory holding. Will try to make it 21. He does. Oh, with 4:42, things get a little bit more interesting, don't they? 4:42 left to play in the third period. It's 34-21. Tom Landry looking on and finding his team all in the shade.
I wonder what he's thinking, though. I know what Tom Landry's saying. He's saying, okay, now, let's go down and get a legitimate drive, either get 3 or get 7 and get this game over with. Don't fool around with this team.
Don't forget the Sports Spectacular. The Super Bowl of Motocross. This is next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Cup, which is the 5th running, a $250,000 purse. The race is the 2nd of the Fall Triple Crown Handicap for 3-year-olds and up.
What's the world's strongest? What are they lifting? A barrel of what?
Liquid shot, whatever that is. They'll start at 150 pounds.
You can't drink it, can you?
Can if you want to.
If you're strong.
That's going to be all next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Joe Danello to kick off. Line drive in the direction of Princeton. Out of bounds. Now he'll have to kick from the 30. Boy, on a hot day like this, you don't make too many friends by making them have to do that again.
With either team. This looks like a Hollywood review, you know. These dancing girls here are incredibly in good condition. Or well-conditioned, I guess I should say.
21, 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Kicked that field goal last week, didn't he? Danilo?
With 3 seconds to go. That 4:38 I mentioned just a minute ago is remaining in the third period. Looks like this has been an awfully long game. Sure not as long for us as it has been for the players. If you wear a dark blue. Larry Brinson almost has it go over his head. Starts at the 1. Wheels back up to about the 17. Bill Ellenbogen made the tackle. Let's check out another score.
Oh, good score to put over that nice lady. St. Louis 16, Chicago 13, and the Bears refused to fall. I just wonder how St. Louis has been stopping Superman Payton. There's no defense for that girl or Tom Landry's team. Got out of that without any problem.
Landry checking his notes now on the plays he'd like to call. The crowd getting a little uptight about the thing. 34-21 as the Giants have come back. Roger Staubach is back as the quarterback.
Green! 43!
Left tackle, I believe.
Yes, he did.
For Dallas moved a little bit. Number 71, Andy Frederick, the rookie.
I noticed most of the starters are back in on offense. Fitzgerald's at center.
Another starter.
Donovan's back in at right tackle. Neely's the only one getting a breather right now. Lawless is in there.
Tom Landry continues to shuttle plays by shuttling his wide receivers to call the plays and get them into Roger Staubach. Here's the violation.
False start, number 71, offense, first down.
Carelessness. Now the thing is, if Dallas has one big turnover, which they haven't had, the Giants jump back in this game deep in Dallas territory very quickly now.
That's right. First and 15. Ball at the Dallas 13. Newhouse and Dorsett, the running back. It is Dorsett looking for some place to go and sifting around for perhaps a couple. John Mendenhall, the first man to hit him. Brad Van Pelt playing with that wrapped right arm. Came over to help.
I'm trying to think back to when I played in tremendous heat like this. And what I'm looking at, I forgot what I was going to say about this, how hot it was.
Second down, a 2-yard pickup by Dorsett makes it 13 to go. Roger Staubach's going to throw and does. Golden Richard at the 29, taken out by Ernie Jones.
Just enough for the first down. They run those patterns for Ditka till they can do them in their sleep. This is from behind the defense. He'll go just deep enough and turn it out. The tackle is well made by Jones. It's a first down, and out of first and 15, they make the first.
Ernie Jones, number 31, is 6'3", 180, a 2-year man from the University of Miami. First down, Dallas. Ball at their own 29. They lead 34-21. Staubach. Newhouse took the forward handoff, but was wrapped up by Brian Kelly almost as soon as he got the ball.
Several years ago, Brian Kelly was the ball boy for the Cowboys out in Thousand Oaks, wasn't he? Came from Dallas, and now he plays with the Giants.
That's Frank Marion, who, as Tom Brookshire told you before, just had too much heat and just collapsed.
Well, Frederick is playing the left tackle for Dallas. You can see Marion looking around and talking, so he's pretty much all right. But Neely just came down with the heat problem, too, and he might come back, but probably they'd like to rest him. He's had a couple of years.
Roger Staubach on second down. Fires, and the ball was not deflected, but Staubach was hit just as he let it go.
Jack Gregory, I believe, put the shot on him.
That's right.
He had 64 sacks in 5 seasons, Gregory did. That's one of the outstanding totals in football, and we sort of lose sight of that sometimes.
That's right.
Roger is 17 of 24, Patrick, 214 yards. Last one, I guess, was his worst throw.
Third down situation now coming up for Dallas. Ball still at their own 29. Not much to cheer about for Dallas right now as they unveil the shotgun again. Steps up in pocket. Ball bounced it off the Newhouse. He made the cut and had enough yardage for the first down. Couldn't hang on.
Van Pelt and Newhouse looked at one another like they wanted to bristle, and they said it's just too darn hot. The ball was not thrown as well as Rogers been throwing them earlier. That was sort of a tail winder, too.
But Danny White, excuse me, Tom.
Right. That score was up and down. San Francisco over Miami 7-0 in the first period. That's got to be a shocking score.
4th and 10. Danny White standing back at his own 13. Bobby Hammond deep for the Giants. Bobby will get a chance. One heck of an effort by Benny Barnes, who missed him, got up, and got part of the tackle.
Dangerous little ball carrier, too. You better get him as often as you can. Barnes came by him and missed, and then got up and made the tackle, Patrick. You're right.
He got an assist from Thomas Henderson, but the Giants now take over the football at about their own 32-yard line. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third quarter. It is 34-21.
Have the Giants run a draw with Zonka yet at all? A draw would really get Harvey Martin and those people off his back.
Crowd starts to come alive now, encouraging the Cowboys. It's Coder protecting the football. Ed Jones under the bottom of that, and Coder got very little. Continues to run with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left third period. Coder comes walking over to the sideline. Bobby Hammond has replaced him, and he's the setback with Zonka now. Bob Chucker still the tight end, tight to the right. Here's Zonka, leaning straight ahead.
In a hurry, he gets there, too. You're looking at him. He's weighing about 228, and the knee is healthy. It still takes a load to work on him.
Harvey Martin and Bob Brunig combined to make the tackle on Zonka, but it'll be third down now and 6. And Sarchik in a situation where he has to almost definitely put it up. They're blitzing him. They got it. A flag goes down. Cowboys brought everybody.
I saw Kyle and Hughes both coming, the secondary people, and I think Hughes went over the top of the pile to hit number 9.
Sarchik getting up very, very slowly. Let's watch that blitz again.
Make believe you're the quarterback for just a moment. Long enough.
Randy White was on the bottom of that, along with Randy Hughes. So Jennings, number 13, back to punt for the Giants. Butch Johnson standing at his own 35 for Dallas. They're coming again. Good punt by Jennings, and Johnson puts up the hand for fair catch at the 30.
That's some kick.
Really was.
Started out in the PPK, didn't he, Jennings? Didn't he?
He was one of the winners. That was a 45-yard punt. And Dallas will take it over again. A minute 24 left third period. They still lead 34-21. Roger Staubach and receiver Drew Pearson in conversation right now as they come back to start this series. Pat Donovan, I see, is still at right tackle. Billy Joe Dupree, number 89, the tight end, goes to the left. Drew Pearson back as well. Dorsett and Newhouse, the setback. It's back to Newhouse. Billy Joe Dupree almost tackled Newhouse.
Boy, I I'll tell you, Brian Kelly came across number 55 early and really disturbed the play. And I'll tell you, the Giants are beginning to knock pretty hard. Remember, they did this against the Redskins in the last 2 or 3 minutes they came on strong. Some problem there, but I'll tell you, the Giants caused some of it.
Newhouse almost knocked off his guard. Billy Joe Dupree coming back to block. There's Pisarcik on the Giant bench. Butch Johnson split over to the right. Pisarcik on the phone with the coaches up in the press box. Fake. Staubach. That's a tough catch, or a tough attempt at a catch. It was thrown behind him. Ernie Jones on the coverage.
Drew Pearson already had 6 for 97 yards. Again, you lose a little bit of the intensity when you have a team apparently out of it. And Roger is forced, I think, about the last 3 passes he's thrown.
That's what he's done so far today. Golden Richards has just brought the play in from Tom Landry. An extra tight end has also joined the offensive huddle for Dallas. Jay Salby. By Clyde Powers, but a well-thrown pass.
Oh, and the rifle worked that time. Dupree is going down to run a square out. He's going to have solo coverage. By the way, back in the pocket, Tony Dorsett came back and made a pretty good block on a rushing defense. Watch to the left of your screen. Watch number 33 come back inside and get a piece of him and allow Roger to throw it. J.T. Turner was the blockee, or the block.
Of the third quarter with the score Dallas 34, the Giants 21. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Lenny loses his cool when his apartment catches fire in the riotous premiere of Busting Loose, Wednesday night on CBS.
Across the field at Texas Stadium. Of course, if you've never seen this place, there's a great huge hole in the roof.
On purpose.
Yeah. Miami 7, San Francisco 6, the first period score.
Patrick, I'm really proud of the Giant defense. And I'm not trying to belabor a point, but they could have just played out the second half.
That's right.
But they're not going to be humiliated. They have hit very well.
There's the hole in the top of the stadium that causes us those difficulties when the shadows come across the field like they are this afternoon. First down, Cowboys. The hand back to Dorsett. And Dorsett gets the ball knocked loose, but the whistle had blown. Brad Van Pelt on top of it. But Dorsett got about 5.
What does he accelerate?
Doesn't he? Gets in the hole about as fast as anybody I've ever seen. Here's Van Pelt trying to steal the football. Second and 5, 5-yard pickup by Tony Dorsett. Houston 16, Green Bay 10 now in the fourth period. Dorsett goes back into the shadows. Handoff straight ahead is Newhouse. Newhouse inside the 45 to about the 44, stopped by J.T. Turner.
Somebody threw his shoe out all the way back to where they'll huddle up. It's really getting a little bit nasty out there now. I thought somebody tackled Staubach almost before he made the handoff.
Laidlaw checks in. Watch Roger.
Watch how fast now they're coming. Mendenhall has Roger when he's trying to get the handoff.
Newhouse lost his shoe and went out. Third and about a yard. Staubach overthrows Drew Pearson. And Danny White comes strolling onto the field as the Giants, Newhouse taking care of the shoe problem in the shade.
I watched White before the game practicing on the corner kicks. Ditka was watching him rather closely, and he can airmail it inside the 10-yard line, perhaps as well as any punter I've seen for a while. I don't get to see Ray Guys very often, but I'm saying he can really do it.
Quite an art, and one that didn't used to be practiced very much, but in recent years they changed the rules about punt coverage. People are trying it more often. So Danny White standing at his 40. The Giants are coming to try to block it. They almost got it. They heard him that time. Jim Steinke is the guy who came charging across in front of Danny White and hurried that punt. Nevertheless, it goes out of bounds. Well, they're going to mark it at the 16 where the Giants will take over. They trail 34-21. We have 13 minutes and a half left to play in this game.
Because my daddy told me they're built tough. Right, Daddy?
Right. And I bought a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy? Yep. And I drive a Ford pickup because my daddy told me they were built tough. Right, Daddy?
That's right, yeah. My daddy came to Texas in a covered wagon. I had to learn about Fords on my own. I'm a smart old bird, ain't I?
Of all Ford trucks registered over the last 12 years, 93 out of 100 are still on the job. Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Is it a fling or the real thing? Julie falls for an older man on the season premiere of One Day at a Time, Tuesday following MASH.
34-21. 13 and a half minutes left to play. Giants with the football at their own 16. First and 10. Joe Pisarcik, the quarterback. Straight ahead is Zonka.
Pisarcik is now 6 for 10, Pat, for 109 yards, including the long bomberoo he threw to Perkins. After the original fumble snap, he hasn't played that badly.
He really hasn't. That long bomb was 54 yards, by the way. Moorhead comes out. Marshall is in and split wide to the left. Perkins is right. Second and 7 to Sarchek. Going for Perkins. Benny Barnes right with him.
Smart, too. Benny Barnes got in front of him, and Perkins would have had to run through 31 to get there. Very clever move by, you can see that Perkins is reminding the official of it.
Perkins, the rookie from Abilene Christian. There's John McVay. In his second game, in his first full year as the head coach of the Giants.
He's 500, you know, 3-4 last year and 1-0 this year. He said, now I'm only 500 away from where we want to be.
Nikolajczyk was number 62 on the Giants sideline. Ball's at the 19. Third and 7. See if the Cowboys split. No. Zonka. Flag is down. Larry Cole made the tackle, but a flag is down, and a preliminary indication is holding against the Giants.
There was the draw we've been sort of looking for. Looked like maybe Tom Mullen had a problem with Too Tall Jones.
Cowboys probably will decline. At least the Giants think they will. Charlie Waters looking over to see what Tom Landry wants to do.
Holding, number 73, offense, declined, fourth down.
That'll make it fourth down. And Dave Jennings is in to punt for the Giants. Jennings standing on about the 8. Butch Johnson standing back on the 30. Jennings has done a good job punting. His last one was 45 yards. Oh, Waters tried. Butch breaks one. Breaks two. The 46, the flag is down again. Butch Johnson got inside Giant territory. Let's see what the discussion is about back here.
Butch takes it on the dead run, which is such an advantage for the return man because the first 2 or 3 people that come by just slide by. Jennings really kicked it.
Inadvertent, no foul.
No foul.
How do you call a no foul?
I never heard that call before.
Here's Butch running it back.
Dangerous punt returner is Butch Johnson.
The first one of those we've ever had called. For lack of something better to do, we will call no foul.
Illegal use of the flag, right? 34-21. 12 and a half minutes left to play in this contest. Cowboys look like they might run the Giants right out of this stadium in the early going in this game. The Giants have fought back. Bill Staubach. This is Newhouse. Newhouse gets across about the 41. Where he's tripped up by Troy Archer.
I'll tell you, Tony Dorsett came up and made a pretty good block for Newhouse. And that's going to be a proving point for Tony. He can carry it. Everybody knows that, including Roger Wright. But that he can block is another thing we didn't know. He did a pretty good job on that play.
Something he really never had to do in college. He was a deep back in that eye almost always. And hard to block from back there.
Well, if you're playing defense, though, and don't remember he's in there on the other side all the time.
It'll be 2nd and 6. Staubach overthrows, almost intercepted. Bill Bryant had a chance. Flag is down. It's going to be roughing the passer.
Mendenhall went by and gave Roger the assurance that, darn it, I was there. Watch to the right part of your screen and see if 64 beats Rafferty, 64. There he gets rid of it. Ball is gone. It's pretty hard to pull off your charge, though, and Mendenhall told him, I was there and he took it and shot, but I didn't really mean it.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 64, defense. First down.
There's John Mendenhall. In the American League East, Boston beat Detroit 12-5, so the Red Sox will remain 2.5 games behind the Yankees.
4 field goals, huh? You ever seen such baseball scores at that level?
The other one was 15-0. That was the Yankees over Toronto. That one was 12-5. Danny White, I believe, is now the quarterback. Yes, he is. And he is saying, I'm not quite sure what it is you want to do, Coach. So let's go talk it over.
See if we can sort of watch this conversation. See what transpires.
That's Jim Myers with the headset on to Landry's right, entering in that conversation with Danny White and Landry.
Keystone Radial Tire is an improved steel cord with 5 million miles of developmental testing. Where once we used 5 strands, we now use 10 strands of steel. 7 around 2, wrapped by 1. A cord construction so important, Firestone named the tire for it.
11:21. Now, from Firestone.
The Quintrix 2-color picture tube from Panasonic brings you a very lifelike picture. Because Quintrix 2 is our inline picture tube with an extra pre-focus lens that concentrates and focuses the electron beam to bring you Panasonic's sharpest picture ever. So lifelike, you may even feel you're part of the picture. Quintrix 2, one more reason Panasonic is just slightly ahead of our time.
Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson. Buffalo 6, Denver 3. That's in the second period. Drew Pearson getting a little refreshment. San Francisco now 9-7 over the Miami Dolphins. Second period. Tony Dorsett shifts deep on first down for the Cowboys at the Giant 27. Ralph Dealey back in. He was one of the ones who jumped.
The defense moved and leaned, and then the offense moved and leaned. Let's see.
Against the Cowboys.
This could be the crucial defensive series for New York. If they don't sort of stop this and slow it off.
Now start, number 73, offense, first down.
Still first down for Dallas. Ball now back at the 32-yard line. (34-21). Dallas over the Giants. Danny White gives to Tony Dorsett.
He is running up the back of the offensive blockers, and they are really hustling because they know he's there. Watch this. Barely a little false start, and he is up behind. And they're going to know that, so they're going to get out more quickly. And they know they don't have to do the cleanest job blocking. Just hit somebody and get out of the way.
Rams over the Eagles, 7-0. Second quarter. Tony Dorsett. There'll be some motion in a minute. Tony Hill. Inside handoff to Newhouse, who squirms out of one. John Mendenhall. Finally rolling over with Newhouse. Watch this from the end zone.
Watch the pressure from the right part of your screen. As the handoff takes place, you see that Mendenhall was right there, and Gregory is being dragged by Newhouse.
So it's a third down play coming up. Oakland nothing, Pittsburgh nothing. Second quarter. Danny White, the Dallas quarterback, on third down. And 5. Shuttles the fake. Throw is down the middle. Intended for Golden Richards. Hit by Jim Stanky, and he knocked it loose.
Van Pelt was there, too. Bandaged arm and all. And I'll tell you, the Giants are hitting it a lick. They are hitting on defense. There's the play over the middle. There's no more of the big openings down there that we saw in that first half. They tightened it up.
And we'll have another look at number 1 right there, Efren Herrera. Look at this. San Diego in the fourth quarter over Kansas City, 23-7.
Pat, you watched Herrera warm up. Is he solid now after the miss in Minnesota?
He looks solid in the warm-up. He's already hit 2. Not this one. The Giants block it. The Giants have the football. It was Al Dixon, I believe, that blocked it, and Troy Archer that fell on it.
Archer is always around it when it's loose. If he doesn't make it, at least he falls on it, and the block came up the middle.
There's Troy Archer, who's had one heck of an afternoon in spite of that score. 10:15 left to play.
Cold night, Bob. Did you put in the Prestone antifreeze?
Prestone, Prestone. Who needs Prestone?
Prestone. You need Prestone.
If your antifreeze is worn out or you don't have enough, you could be in trouble. So put in a fresh fill of Prestone, too, to prevent corrosion and freeze-ups.
Prestone! We need Prestone!
Prestone, Prestone. You need Prestone.
Europe's most successful new car in history comes to America. Introducing Fiesta, now imported from Germany by Ford. Fiesta, 0 to 50 in an average of 8.8 seconds. Road-gripping Michelin radial tires. The traction of front-wheel drive and excellent gasoline economy. Fiesta, Europe's most successful new car in history. Test drive one at your authorized Ford dealer now. Look at down in the sun end of the field. A lot of people have just not been able to stand the heat and have gone home. And look at the fans working. The people who have stayed.
Looks like one of those card sections at a collegiate game.
And nobody knows what's going on. At the 40, the Giants take over. Blocked field goal by Dixon. Joe Pisarcik, the quarterback, and the time comes to throw. And he does. Wide open is Gary Shirk. A flag is down as Shirk couldn't hang on. Big rush on Pisarcik by Harvey Martin. Gregory.
Shirk is limping coming off. He had the touchdown pass late against the Redskins. It's going to be what, holding against the New York Giants?
Looks like it. Here's Gary Shirk coming to the bench now. Al Dixon, the guy who blocked the field goal a minute ago, is the other backup tight end behind Bob Tucker.
Ball was well thrown.
Holding, number 71, offense, first down.
Gordon Gravel was holding Harvey Martin. There's Gary Shirk. At the final score now, San Diego defeated Kansas City 23-7.
Randy White just came back into the lineup, and Gregory went out. So Gregory did get some action today.
Gordon Bell and Willie Spencer, the running backs behind Pisarcik. Spencer. And another flag goes down. And Spencer took some shot. About 4 of the Cowboys converged around him, led by Benny Barnes.
Tell you what I liked, though, was the way he put it down and decided to take that shot himself. There was no looking for his sidelines and all, and he is a big back. About 238 or 240. Clipping
against the Giants. Baltimore beat Cleveland 9-4 in the American League East in baseball. Thus, they remain 2 games behind the Yankees, who won earlier, and the Red Sox are 2.5 back. They won earlier.
Clipping and holding 2 plays in a row. The Giants had 12 penalties against the Redskins a week ago. It's just impossible to win.
Flipping, number 25, offense, first down.
Gordon Bell was the player called for clipping. The ball is all the way back to the 19-yard line. It'll be first down still, but 31 yards to go. A little bit over 10 minutes left to play. Dallas 34, the Giants 21. Larry Cole lined up right on the head of the center outhill. Thrown behind Robinson. Pisarcik again under a heavy rush. 4-man rush put on by Randy White, Ed Jones, Larry Cole, and Harvey Martin.
I tell you, number 9 has a live arm, though. Even the one he overthrew Perkins down here earlier when Barnes had him well covered. He can cut it loose and rifle it. It is not a dead ball. He's got a lot of power in it.
He's got a little bit of a sidearm motion that would remind you of a little bit of Y.A. Tittle. And if he ever gets himself in that class, they've got some.
But he's got a head of hair that you won't believe.
Which, of course, Mr. Tittle was without. Second down. Pisarcik goes back. They're coming after him. Larry Cole and group. Picked off by Randy Hughes. Randy Hughes breaks a couple of tackles. Gets back to the 35. Emory Moorhead made the tackle. A pass that should not have been thrown.
Chance to run for a few yards. By the way, Pisarcik helped on that tackle with Moorhead. But he is mad at himself. Watch this. He's got a chance to, once he does beat the wave, and that's a little scary with Cole and Randy White after you and Harvey Martin. He's could have probably picked up 7 or 8 yards. You're right, the throw wasn't necessary. Watch him come and get in on the tackle, though.
There's Joe Pisarcik. Dallas owns the football at the 35. Denver's going ahead of Buffalo now in the second period, 10-6. Danny White, Tony Dorsett, and Scott Laidlaw. The Dallas setback. Here's Dorsett. There is Dorsett.
We know he's not that big. We've heard how quick he is. Well, watch the cut at full speed here. Cut it now. Oh, my goodness. How many draft choices? It sounds like a very cheap trade to me.
It does. That's one you'll see on the highlights a lot of times. Boy, is he quick.
Can't slow it down either. It's all flat out full speed.
Herrera with Charlie Waters holding. It is now 41-21. Is that worth another look? Watch him accelerate.
5'11", about 184 pounds. I'm telling you, the Dallas defensive people have told us he does this in practice, and sometimes they don't touch him, and they come back to the huddle sort of mumbling.
Sort of ironic. 2 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys had an outstanding prospect, a great number, Wayne Thomas.
Wayne Thomas, that's right. Well, this young man seems to have his head in the right place, and he's waiting for his chance, and he'll still have to share some of the duties with Preston Pearson, I'll tell you that.
It's 41-21, and now they have something to cheer about. St. Louis beat the Chicago Bears 16-13. Those teams now 1-1. We'll have a chance next week to see the Cardinals against the Redskins.
Hey, that's right. That should be a good football game, and Tampa Bay has the job of playing the Dallas Cowboys, huh?
That doesn't look like it's going to be a very pleasant prospect, although the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played very well last night against Minnesota. Vikings just beat them 9-3 in the event you didn't know that.
They've got 7 All-Americans on that young defensive team, but the key word there is young. They are young.
And they're playing good defense. Here's Herrera. Emery Moorhead and Gordon Bell back in the sunlight for the Giants. 41-21 the score. It's going to be Bell at the 1. Wedge comes to the right, and so does he. Guy Brown, the linebacker who made the tackle.
That's where all the linebackers pay their penance for the Cowboys. They can't play for 3 or 4 years, so they go on the special teams, and if they work out, they stay, and if they don't, some other team has a good linebacker around the league. Quite a proving ground.
Right at the 20 is where Bell got it. You can almost feel the heat coming off that field all the way up here. A lot of the crowd's starting to leave, particularly where that sun is still looking them right in the face. 41-21 Dallas. 9:29 left to play. Joe Pisarcik, the Giants quarterback. And he's going to throw. He's going to try to throw again. Gregory. Ed Jones made him step up into the pocket. Jones and Gregory took him down.
But Pisarcik learns not to throw it when you're under heavy heat. Put it away. Remember, Gregory has been a great pass rusher in the past.
He was not dressed last week against Minnesota. This is Bill Gregory we're talking about. There's John McVay looking on with 9 minutes and 10 seconds left to play in this contest. Second down and 17 for Pisarcik. Lone setback for Zonka. Pisarcik fired. Waters was close. Kyle deflected it. That is Aaron Kyle.
Underneath, that's where those people seem to come out of the numbers and raise up against a rookie quarterback.
There's Jack Gregory.
Soybeans are in, huh? How do you get soybeans out?
Got to dig him up, I think.
I tell you, he's a good farmer. He's also been a Real good football player in this league. And the Giants are getting identity again, though. It's going to be fun in New York, you know.
3rd and 17. Tough spot for young Joe Pisarcik. Patterson swings, Joe. Spread out. Throws to Gordon Bell. Bell gets away from a couple, gets out back to the original line of Eddie Barnes and